Welcome back. I gotta turn some lights on. Ribbit. Got the mood lighting on. So I'm gonna show you guys, as I put my beer down here, what I've been up to for the last couple days, other than the normal daily grind stuff. I'm gonna try to do this with one hand because I don't have a stand set up. But so this is my Avata bag, and I think I put a link and did a video on it. I definitely did a video on it. I just don't remember if I put a link. There are multiple versions of this bag. I find it now for around 65 bucks, but when I purchased this without the sticker, it was about $23. That was an insane deal. I knew that it didn't have some of the things that the other bags have. It was modular. It had soft insides. I don't have anything to kind of set this up on. Let me see if I can move it here. Hold on. And it kind of left it in the option realm of being able to customize and modify it versus just being a traditional bag, so I could set it up the way that I wanted to set it up. And I am so pleasantly surprised how well it's come out. And I mean, I liked it before, but there was a couple little tiny quirks, and I wanted to really nail it down and make it my own, beer, and make it a little more secure. So I'm going to kind of walk through what I've done, what I've changed, and the process. So I gotta get down on one knee here, some Boys to Men shit. I changed up. The main idea of my mods lately was to change and secure and make this more of a bracketed, structured setup, and that meant kind of working my way down and making things more secure. These soft felt with just a little foam insert things I had covering, and that was kind of holding the Avata in place, but it didn't hold any of the weight. It just kind of kept it there. So what I did was, actually, let me back up. Just something simple, because rubber bands are a dime a dozen. I made a tiny hole, and this is the actual factory plate that comes in the box for the Avata. Sprayed it. It's Velcroed, and the Velcro things are glued down, so it can come off if need be. So what I did was attach that. I found this old bracket. It's like a mounting plate for a motor or something like that, and I screwed it down and then shoe glued it so it had some structure to it. And then my Avata sits inside there, locked in. Give me a sec here. And then I strap this and it holds it in place, and that tension keeps it from wiggling around in case I fall on it. So, second, we'll go back to this. One of the things I like to do when I go out and I fly, when we go to set up and spot, I take my bag off and I'd like to hang it from a tree, because a lot of the flying we do is around woods. So it has this to do that. And when I do that, nothing kind of held in place other than the batteries that go in here, and then the strap for the controller, which is over there, which I'll show you. Let me grab that. This was an impromptu thing, so I didn't kind of set anything up. It was just like, I got to show this. So here's the controller. I'm coming up with an idea for this, actually, for inside here. So I'm going to figure out where this mounts, and this kind of locks it into here. So I'm going to secure this inside here, so when you slide it in, and it locks into that little pin that this sits in. So that's where I'm going with that. But so I did was I found these little, they were off actually a cheap controller I got for my plane. And they fit perfectly in here, and that just protects them so I don't have to take the stick ends off. So with this in place here, and then that locks that into place. 2 batteries. I get 1 more battery, and I should say 2 more batteries. The remote battery, the goggles battery, and then my 3rd battery for the Avata. So that's what that is. Like I said, so when I hung it in a tree, there was nothing holding these things in place. So if I want to grab one thing versus the other and take my time, I didn't like how stuff could fall out, and I kind of struggled a little bit. So what I did was, tilt it back a little more, I created a box. So I actually used a box, which you really can't see, inside here that fits the goggles perfectly. It's got a tiny bit of wiggle room, which is perfect. And then I foam inserted, move this out of the way, foam inserted both sides, and that is glued or double-sided taped to the box. So if I have to pull the box out, the box can come out. So, you know, if I want to tuck something and even get that, let me stand it up, hold on. So there's a piece of foam in the bottom, and that whole foam fills the gap on the bottom, creating a little bit of tension on this whole thing from falling out, wiggling around, and keeping pressure on all the sides. And that gives me room for little accessories and stuff like that. There's little pockets and stuff down there. And then, like I said, this simple little foam thing here sits. It protects the face, but when I'm standing up and I have it on a tree, the goggles don't want to fall out. So I can grab just the remote, or like I said, this thing is, I love it. Moving on, these are still in experimental stage, but these same little modular pocket type things, I attached one on each side for now. And this isn't a permanent home for anything. I just put some wires for one of the chargers in there, and it kind of pushes right into where it meets this pocket. The only thing that's sort of permanent in this whole thing is just the Velcro that I use that's got shoe glue on it to lock these into place to create more structure. I may have to do that down in here. I may not, because there's nowhere for it to really go. But so right here, I have the plate for the goggles, which I was looking for and found, and it inspired me to do that. So that sits perfect. Here's the battery. So here's an idea of what the battery just drops perfectly in there. And I think I have one or two of these left somewhere, which I can cover this section, which covers the batteries. Not that I even need it, because when this thing sits flat, it's pushed right up against it. But it's been a fun little project, and it just secures my stuff a little bit more. It makes it more reliable. So if, assumingly, we're sitting in a tree here, nothing can fall out. If you can see that. So everything's nice and locked in there, and that gives me a little more security. And I feel, in again, with that being secured into its holder, no weight of this is being transferred onto that. With this being locked in the way it is, and then now having the box inside here, nothing sitting on top of the goggles, which I feel a lot better about. And then I have a backup. I'm gonna have to see if I can find these in other colors. That'd be fun. And just some of the accessories. I got a secondary foam plate for my face. I got another one in the drawer. This is another thing that drives me nuts. I get out and fly and I get excited and I turn into a little kid. I got my lanyard, and these things make the world of difference for giving yourself an extra set of hands. So what I'll do, get this out first. I always take the remote out first, and then I can click onto this, and that frees up both hands. So I grab the goggles and that or whatnot. But part of the fun, so far the bag has given me no problems out. It is very comfortable, and there's all kinds of extra pockets and stuff, which, let me get it back on the desk here. So with it being on the desk, there's this huge slit, so you can put some thin stuff, but you have a huge pocket in the back, so to put all kinds of whatever you can think of. And then the little pouch that sits just around your rear end, or just in the lower back area, which also is a zipper. So gloves or something like that. So what I keep is, when we go hiking, we always find people's trash, because people are slobs. And if it's small stuff that we can throw out, I use that little bag and I bring the trash home and I throw it away. Try to better nature. Lean that against the remotes. I've showed these before, that it's got some pretty cool pockets. So I got some more charging cables in here for now, just to get them out of the way. Same thing. So I got this in here for now that I haven't used in a while. I haven't plugged my phone in and used it as a secondary monitor in a while. And then this zipper goes both up and down, if that doesn't sound wrong. So long stuff like the Ford charger fits perfectly in there, because as you can see, it takes up a decent amount of room, but it works good. Somebody's texting me. Who's that? Hey, it's George. So yeah, that is the update to the Avata bag. I just can't justify spending some of the, can't justify, never mind, I can't do it, the price of some of the bags that are well over $100. I guess if you're going out with multiple quads and you need a lot of extra room, I could see. But then I found, and I did a video well over a year ago of it's my tactical backpack, that all my analog stuff, with the size of my goggles, I can still fit these monsters inside of there, no pun intended. Full remote, get quads inside, especially the small ones, and then one or two on the outside. So this thing does the full job, and that was like 26 bucks, 27 bucks on Amazon. So there are options out there. The only thing that this doesn't have that some of the other ones have, or if it's, how do I explain it? It's got inserts and dividers, so it creates, like, this is completely collapsible if need be, where those other ones aren't. They're like a fixed size structure with pockets and stuff like that. That one doesn't have it. This is sort of in that mentality where it kind of creates that pocket. But share your thoughts. Let me know what you think. Is this something you dig? Would you prefer or you want to see? Man, freaking burpee. More of a modular design, something that you can customize. The only thing that I would have loved to see is that these had a little more structure, physical strength to them. Or, cut and play kind of deal, so you can cut to the sizes you want. I worked with what I had, and it worked for like the perfect size of the batteries and stuff like that. But again, if you had a more complicated setup, or you wanted something to fit the shape of the quad, or not a Cinewhoop style, but you get what I'm going. But let me know what you think. Love to hear your thoughts. Hope you all doing well. Peace out.